See that pathetic old man over there? That's what failure looks like at 55? Derek Thompson's voice booms across Elite Fitness MMA Academy. The 32-year-old trainer gestures dismissively at Samuel Jackson, who's mopping floors in the corner. Sam here thinks watching us train for 2 years makes him a fighter. Derek's wealthy clients snicker. Maybe we should throw him in the ring. Give everyone a good laugh watching Grandpa try to throw a punch. Derek strides over and kicks Sam's mop bucket. Dirty water splashes across the freshly cleaned floor. Oops, guess you'll need to start over, old man. Sam looks up slowly. At 55, his silver hair and weathered face tell a story of hard labor and harder years. What's wrong, Fossil? Too tired to clean up your mess? Derek towers over him, muscle and youth radiating arrogance. Sam says nothing. Just pick up the mop and start cleaning again. But something flickers in his eyes for just a moment, something that doesn't quite match the broken-down janitor Derek sees. Elite Fitness MMA Academy sits in downtown Atlanta's wealthiest district. $200 monthly memberships. Glass walls showcase Olympic equipment to pedestrians who could never afford entry. Inside, everything gleams under LED lighting, regulation octagon, recovery pods worth more than most cars. This is Derek Thompson's kingdom. At 32, he's never known struggle. The trust fund bought the premium location. Father's connections filled it with Atlanta's elite. Tech executives, entertainment lawyers, real estate moguls. They come here to feel dangerous without actual risk. Derek moves like a peacock through his domain. Every gesture calculated for his 100,000 Instagram followers. Bio reads, elite trainer to champions, though he's never trained anyone past amateur level. His real talent? Selling toughness fantasies to men who've never thrown real punches. Samuel Jackson enters through the back door at 11 p.m. 2 years working this shift, cleaning until 6 a.m. while the privileged sleep. At 55, Sam's body tells decades of manual labor stories. Silver hair neatly trimmed despite circumstances. Weathered hands scarred from construction work grip supplies with surprising steadiness. Sam moves deliberately, not from laziness but calculated efficiency. Those reading glasses aren't just for show. He needs them now. Another reminder time moves forward regardless of will. But watch Sam's eyes during long nights. While mopping, he studies. Every technique replays in his mind. He memorizes combinations, analyzes footwork, catalogs weaknesses. Clients assume he's invisible. They don't know about the small apartment where Sam lives with 22-year-old daughter Maya. Medical school applications cover their kitchen table. Each requires fees Sam counts twice. Maya works part-time at a campus bookstore, but it's nowhere near enough. Sam needs this job desperately. Night shift pays double because no one wants cleaning up after Atlanta's elite. He endures dismissive glances, casual cruelty, assumptions that he's exactly where life intended. Construction destroys his back during the day. Weekend security shifts steal rest. But Maya's future depends on every dollar. She's brilliant, valedictorian, debate team captain, everything Sam dreamed of becoming. During breaks, Sam retreats to storage rooms. Surrounded by protein powder boxes, he shadow boxes. Movements flow like water despite age. Each punch precise, each step measured. Practicing in silence, muscle memory awakening something dormant. Derek notices but dismisses these as old man delusions. The idea that his janitor might possess actual skill never crosses his mind. What none of them suspect. Sometimes patience isn't weakness, it's preparation. Derek's hosting a private party tonight. Atlanta's wealthiest clients have paid extra for exclusive entertainment after hours. Whiskey flows freely as they discuss business deals worth millions. The gym's lights dim to create atmosphere while Derek plans his next social media moment. He spots Sam mopping near the octagon and an idea crystallizes. Derek's been struggling with content lately. His follower growth has stagnated. He needs something viral, something that showcases his dominance in unforgettable terms. Sam, Derek calls out, his voice carrying that particular tone of false friendliness that masks cruelty. Come here for a second, buddy. Sam looks up from his mop, immediately sensing trouble. Derek only uses that tone when planning something humiliating. The wealthy clients turn their attention toward the janitor, sensing entertainment approaching. How'd you like to make an extra $500 tonight? Derek's smile doesn't reach his eyes. My clients want some authentic entertainment. Just step in the ring with Tommy here for 3 rounds. Think of it as performance art. Tommy Ricci, Derek's 24-year-old prize student, grins from his position by the heavy bags. All muscle and Instagram followers, he's been training for 8 years but never faced real adversity. Sam hesitates, understanding this is humiliation disguised as opportunity. But $500 would cover Maya's MCAT prep course, something they've been saving toward for months. "I'm not a fighter anymore, Mr. Thompson. Haven't been for 30 years. I just clean." Derek's laugh carries across the gym. "Exactly. That's what makes it perfect. Don't worry. Tommy will go easy on Grandpa. It's just for laughs. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? You're already broken down." The clients chuckle at Derek's joke. Sam sees their faces. Men who've never known real struggle, who view him as entertainment rather than human. The same men whose messes he cleans every night. "500 cash," Derek continues, pulling out his phone to livestream. "Just 3 rounds. Hell, if you can stay standing that long, I'll throw in a bonus." Sam thinks of Maya's application deadlines approaching. Medical school interviews she can't afford to attend. Dreams that depend on money he doesn't have. "All right," Sam says quietly. 3 rounds. Derek's eyes light up as he starts his live stream. About to watch our ancient janitor learn why fighting is a young man's game. This is what happens when people don't know their limitations. Sam changes into borrowed gear that hangs loose on his smaller frame. The gloves feel foreign after years away from fighting, but muscle memory begins stirring. The mouthguard tastes like rubber and regret. The clients gather around the octagon, phones ready to capture the expected massacre. Derek positions himself for the best camera angles, already imagining the viral potential. The bell rings. Tommy comes out aggressive, throwing flashy combinations designed for highlight reels. Sam doesn't try matching his speed. Instead, he moves with surgical precision, each step calculated, each defensive movement economical. Something unexpected happens. Tommy's power shots whistle past Sam's head by inches. The old man's footwork, though slower, places him exactly where punches aren't landing. His head movement, subtle but perfect, makes Tommy look clumsy. The crowd's initial cheers fade to confused murmurs. Why can't this young champion touch the old janitor? As the round ends, Sam breathes heavily, but his eyes remain calm and calculating. Derek realizes his entertainment isn't following the script he'd imagined. For the first time tonight, Derek sees something in Sam's weathered features that doesn't match his narrative of the broken-down custodian. Something that looks dangerously like competence. The video from that night gets pathetic engagement. Derek expected millions of views watching an old man get destroyed. Instead, viewers see a confused young fighter missing an elderly janitor for 3 rounds. Comments mock Tommy's performance. "Can't even finish a grandpa?" And "This is your champion?" Derek's ego shatters. His follower count actually drops as competitors gain ground. Younger trainers are creating content that makes Derek look outdated. He needs total domination to restore his brand image. The ageist attacks begin immediately. Derek makes Sam wear a handwritten sign during business hours, "Past my prime, still cleaning." Clients laugh as Sam mops around their workouts, the humiliating placard bouncing with each movement. "Careful around the fossil," Derek announces loudly whenever Sam enters a room. Sudden movements might break something important. Well, more important than what's already broken. Derek starts imitating Sam's movements for his social media. He hunches over, moves slowly, pretends to need reading glasses. Day in the life of our senior janitor becomes a recurring bit, earning thousands of likes from followers who enjoy mocking age. During staff meetings, Derek openly questions whether Sam can handle the physical demands. "Maybe we need someone who doesn't need a break every time they bend over. This is a fitness facility, not a nursing home." Sam endures each humiliation silently. His back genuinely aches more each day. His knees crack audibly when standing. He does need those reading glasses now, but his mind remains sharp, documenting every slight, every pattern in Derek's escalating cruelty. The other staff members, desperate for Derek's approval, begin joining the mockery. They discuss fight techniques around Sam, making jokes about senior discount training and vintage fighting styles. To them, he's become a running gag rather than a person. Derek discovers Sam researching boxing techniques on YouTube during breaks. This triggers his next escalation. "I've been generous letting you pretend you're still relevant," Derek confronts Sam publicly during peak hours. "But this is embarrassing, for both of us. You watch fight videos like some wannabe teenager. It's pathetic." 20 gym members turn to watch the confrontation. Derek feeds off their attention. You want to keep this job? Prove you can still hang with real athletes. Fight Tommy again, this time a proper match. You last 3 rounds without being hospitalized, I'll acknowledge your vintage experience. Derek's voice drips with condescension as he sweetens the trap. If this old-timer can avoid getting knocked out for 3 full rounds, I'll pay his daughter's law school tuition, $50,000. But when he loses, he retires from fighting forever and admits his time is over. The announcement spreads through social media within hours. Derek frames it as generational warfare, old school versus new school, experience versus athleticism, delusion versus reality. His posts gained massive traction. Comments pour in from young followers eager to see an elder put in his place. Time to teach Grandpa some respect. And this is what happens when boomers don't know when to quit. But something unexpected emerges. The neighborhood rallies around Sam. Mr. Washington, a Vietnam veteran, stops by with old training tips. Mrs. Rodriguez brings anti-inflammatory tea. The local barbershop becomes Sam's unofficial corner, older men sharing stories of their own battles against dismissal. Derek's confidence soars as he plans the spectacle. Tommy's 24, peak condition, 10 years of professional training. Sam's 55, moves like his grandfather, probably pulls muscles getting dressed. This beating will be so complete it'll trend for weeks, Derek tells his inner circle. Finally show the world what happens when people can't accept father time. Sam begins training differently than typical fighters. He moves slowly but precisely. Every punch is economical. He studies film instead of hitting heavy bags. His preparation is cerebral, tactical, a master craftsman sharpening tools rather than building muscle. The community sees this as bigger than one fight. It's about proving wisdom and experience still matter in a youth-obsessed world. Local seniors, veterans, working-class folks, everyone's invested in Sam, proving that age doesn't equal irrelevance. 3 days before the scheduled fight, Derek's harassment reaches its peak. He's created a countdown timer on his social media, days until retirement with Sam's photo. The psychological pressure builds as Derek's followers flood Sam's neighborhood social media with ageist comments. But that evening, Sam finds an anonymous note slipped under his apartment door. Age is just a number when you have real skill. Show them what old school looks like. Some of us remember when fighters were warriors, not performers. The note isn't signed, but Sam suspects it comes from someone who understands that this fight represents more than entertainment. It's about dignity, respect, and proving that experience can triumph over youth when skill matters more than flash. Sam takes his first personal day in 2 years. He drives to Piedmont Park, to the corner where he trained 30 years ago. The equipment is rusted, the punching bag held together with duct tape, but memories remain sharp. Sitting on an old bench watching young joggers pass, the realization hits him. He's been trying to fight Derek's fight, youth versus youth, strength versus strength, playing by rules designed to make him fail. But Sam has weapons Derek can't see. 30 years of knowledge. Pattern recognition from experience. Patience that youth mistakes for weakness. His phone buzzes. Maya's text. Dad, you don't have to do this. I can take loans. That hurts worse than Derek's insults. His brilliant daughter is willing to sacrifice dreams because the world convinced her that her father is too old to matter. Coach Rivera sits beside him uninvited. I've been watching you for 2 years. The way you move, study fighters. Derek thinks you're invisible. She hands him a worn notebook. Tommy's patterns, his tells, weaknesses. Kids never fought anyone who could make him think. All muscle, no endurance past round 2. The notebook contains everything. Tommy drops his right after combinations, gets sloppy when pressured. Has a glass chin nobody's tested because Derek protects him. This isn't about proving you can still fight, Rivera says. This is about teaching Derek that real skill doesn't expire. Sam visualizes controlling the fight, using Tommy's youth against him, making the young man carry action while Sam waits for the perfect moment. He won't outfight Tommy. He'll outthink him. Derek expects an old man trying to prove he's still young. Instead, he's about to face something more dangerous. An old man comfortable being exactly what he is. Fight night transforms elite fitness into a gladiatorial arena. Derek charges $75 admission for premium generational warfare entertainment. The gym overflows with 200 paying spectators. 3 local news crews position cameras for the David versus Goliath age battle. Derek live streams to 30,000 viewers, his phone mounted for perfect angles. Tonight, we settle this once and for all. Old school delusion versus new school reality. The visual contrast is stark. Tommy bounces with kinetic energy, his 24-year-old physique rippling under arena lights. Every muscle defined, movements explosive, shadow boxing with lightning combinations that blur together. He's wearing pristine red shorts with "Young Lion" embroidered in gold. Sam enters slowly, methodically. At 55, every step deliberate, every gesture economical. His silver hair catches the lights as he stretches carefully, working out the stiffness that comes with decades of manual labor. His borrowed blue shorts hang loose on his smaller frame. The crowd's energy splits perfectly. Half wants brutal entertainment, watching an old man learn painful lessons about aging. Half hopes desperately for a miracle, for proof that experience can triumph over youth. "Look at this mismatch," Derek announces to his live stream audience. "Grandpa can barely bend over to tie his shoes and thinks he can hang with a real athlete. This is going to be a public service, showing people when to accept reality." Pre-fight psychological warfare begins immediately. Derek approaches Sam during glove checks, speaking loudly enough for cameras to capture. "Hope your health insurance covers reconstructive surgery. Fossil. This is going to be educational for everyone watching." Sam responds quietly, his voice carrying something that makes Derek uncomfortable. "I've learned a lot in 55 years, son. Tonight you might learn something too." The referee, a young man clearly intimidated by Derek's presence, gives perfunctory instructions. Derek's wealthy clients place bets openly, not on who wins, but on which round Sam gets knocked out. The bell explodes through speakers. Tommy launches from his corner like a missile, throwing spectacular combinations designed for highlight reels. Left hook, right cross, spinning back fist. Pure athletic poetry meant to dazzle cameras and demolish opponents. His speed is genuinely impressive. Punches snap through air with precision that comes from 8 years of professional training. Tommy's footwork flows like dance, creating angles that have destroyed previous opponents within minutes. But Sam doesn't engage in Tommy's dance. Instead, he moves like water around stone, each step calculated by 3 decades of experience. Every punch Tommy throws, Sam has seen 1,000 variations. His defensive positioning appears effortless but follows patterns younger fighters never learn. Tommy's power shots whistle past Sam's head by millimeters. The crowd gasps at near misses, but Sam's expression remains calm. He's not lucky. He's precise. Each slip, each step, each defensive movement flows from muscle memory developed over 30 years. Derek shouts instructions from Tommy's corner. "Finish him! He's already tired!" But Tommy's combinations, though spectacular, hit nothing but air. The young fighter's frustration grows visible with each missed opportunity. 90 seconds into the round, Tommy launches his signature combination. The same flashy sequence that knocked out his last 5 opponents. Right jab, left hook, spinning right back fist. The crowd leans forward, expecting impact. But Sam tilts his head exactly 2 inches left, and the devastating back fist passes through empty air. The crowd erupts in confused murmurs. How did the old man see that coming? Derek's confidence cracks. His live stream chat explodes with questions. Why can't Tommy touch him? And is the old guy actually good? Derek's carefully constructed narrative begins unraveling in real time. The round ends with Tommy breathing harder than expected. Sam returns to his corner looking like he's just finished a light warm-up. The contrast unsettles everyone who came expecting a massacre. Tommy emerges more aggressive, abandoning finesse for raw power. But aggression without precision is just exhaustion waiting to happen. His combinations become wider, telegraphed, desperate to land something significant. Sam begins counterpunching, not with power, but with surgical accuracy. A jab that snaps Tommy's head back at the perfect moment. An uppercut that lifts the young fighter's chin just enough to reset his rhythm. Nothing devastating, but everything was perfectly timed and placed. The crowd's energy shifts dramatically. These aren't lucky shots. They're demonstrations of skill so pure that even untrained eyes recognize mastery. Sam isn't trying to hurt Tommy. He's giving him a boxing lesson in front of 30,000 viewers. Derek screams instructions that border on desperate. Move your head, use your reach. He's 55 years old. But nothing works. Sam anticipates every attack, counters every combination, and makes Tommy look like an amateur despite his obvious athleticism. Midway through round 2, Tommy throws a wild haymaker with everything behind it. The punch carries knockout power, but Sam slips underneath and counters with a picture-perfect right cross that catches Tommy cleanly on the chin. Tommy's knees buckle for a split second. The crowd gasps. For 3 heartbeats, the gym falls completely silent as everyone processes what they just witnessed. Derek's live stream chat goes insane. "Holy shit, where did that come from?" floods the comments. 35,000 viewers suddenly realize they're watching something extraordinary. Derek signals Tommy frantically, "Get aggressive, use your youth, end this embarrassment before it gets worse." But panic makes fighters stupid, and Tommy is definitely panicking now. Tommy enters the final round exhausted and humiliated. His perfect physique means nothing when technique crumbles under pressure. Sweat pours down his face as he realizes he's being outclassed by a man old enough to be his father. Sam recognizes the moment every experienced fighter knows, when youth's impatience finally defeats itself. Tommy's breathing is labored, his combinations sloppy, his defense non-existent. The young man charges wildly, throwing everything he has with no regard for consequences. The crowd senses the end approaching. Derek's wealthy clients sit in stunned silence, their assumptions about age and ability crumbling with each passing second. With 30 seconds left in the fight, Tommy lunges with a telegraphed overhand right, putting all his remaining energy behind one desperate finishing blow. Sam sees it coming from a mile away. The physics are absolutely flawless. Sam slips the punch by the smallest margin and counters with complete perfection. His right cross lands exactly as Tommy moves forward off balance, maximizing impact through timing rather than power. It's not about strength, it's about 30 years of knowing exactly when and where to strike. The punch connects with a sound that echoes through the silent gym. Tommy drops like his strings were cut. For 5 heartbeats, 200 people hold their breath collectively. An old man just knocked out a young champion using pure skill. The live stream freezes at 40,000 viewers, all watching in stunned disbelief. Then the gym explodes into chaos. Half the crowd erupts in celebration. Construction workers, security guards, older spectators who felt invisible their entire lives suddenly have a hero. They chant, "Sam! Sam! Sam!" with voices cracking from pure emotion. The other half sits in shock. Young men who came to watch superiority, confirmed instead, witnessed their assumptions destroyed. Derek's wealthy clients stare at their phones, unsure how to process what they've witnessed. Sam immediately kneels beside Tommy, checking his condition with genuine concern. This image, the victor showing respect and sportsmanship after devastating victory, captures everything the moment represents. Derek's reaction is pure, unfiltered fury. Instead of honoring his $50,000 bet, he screams that Sam cheated somehow, that it was impossible, that old men don't knock out young athletes. His protests sound increasingly desperate against the evidence everyone just witnessed. Within minutes, fight footage spreads across every social media platform, #OldSchoolKnockout and #NeverTooOldTrend worldwide. The video accumulated 5 million views in 6 hours, climbing toward 10 million by morning. Comments pour in from around the globe. Grandparents share the clip with tears of pride. Retirement communities celebrate like they've won championships. Working-class heroes finally have their moment of complete vindication. Boxing legends analyze Sam's technique on sports shows. Commentators praise his patience and precision. The fight transcends sports entirely. It becomes a symbol of dignity, triumphing over dismissal, experience defeating arrogance. But Derek's humiliation runs deeper than losing money or credibility. His entire brand, youth, strength, genetic superiority, lies shattered on the canvas beside his unconscious student. As Sam celebrates with Maya and neighborhood supporters, Derek's eyes burn with something darker than embarrassment. If he can't destroy Sam through athletics, he'll use every advantage his money, connections, and privilege provide. The real war is just beginning. Derek's humiliation festers for exactly 18 hours before he calls his lawyer. At 6 a.m. the morning after his public destruction, he sits in his penthouse apartment surrounded by privilege and plotting revenge. The viral video has been viewed 12 million times. Every comment section mocks his unbeatable champion getting knocked out by a janitor. His first call goes to Marcus Whitfield, senior partner at Atlanta's most ruthless law firm. Whitfield's client list reads like Forbes magazine: tech billionaires, entertainment moguls, politicians who've never lost elections. He specializes in destroying people who threaten his clients' interests. "Marcus, I need that old bastard buried." Derek's voice carries the particular venom of entitled men facing consequences. I don't care what it costs. Assault charges, endangering the elderly, operating illegal fights, whatever sticks. Whitfield's strategy emerges within hours. Paint Sam as a dangerous senior citizen who should have known better at his age. Frame the fight as elder abuse, claiming Derek was manipulated into exploiting a mentally diminished old man for entertainment. The legal papers arrive at Sam's construction site at 2 p.m. His co-workers watch him being served, rumors spreading immediately that he's in serious legal trouble. The foreman calls Sam into his office within minutes. Look, Sam, I like you, but we can't have employees with pending assault charges operating heavy machinery. Insurance won't cover it. You're suspended until this gets resolved. Derek's publicity team moves simultaneously across multiple fronts. They contact every major news outlet with their prepared narrative. Unhinged senior citizen violently assaults young athlete in underground fight ring. The edited video they release removes all context. No humiliation, no bullying, no financial desperation, just an angry old man attacking an innocent young fighter. They splice footage to make Sam appear aggressive, dangerous, unstable. Channel 5 News runs the story first. Anchor Rebecca Morris delivers it with practiced concern. Tonight we ask, should senior citizens be allowed in combat sports? An elderly janitor's dangerous delusion nearly killed a young athlete at an Atlanta gym. The segment features expert commentary from Dr. Patricia Hoffman, a geriatric psychiatrist Derek's team located within hours. Older adults often experience delusions about their physical capabilities. This man clearly suffers from a dangerous disconnection from reality. Derek's legal team files for $750,000 in damages, knowing Sam could never afford such amounts. They subpoena his medical records, revealing his back problems, joint pain, and previous injuries. Every sign of aging becomes evidence of unfitness to fight. The construction company fires Sam the next morning. Liability concerns, they explain. Can't employ violent individuals around expensive equipment. His weekend security job follows within days. Insurance won't cover workers with pending assault charges. Derek's lawyers systematically target every business supporting Sam. Mrs. Rodriguez receives health department inspections after 20 years without violations. Mr. Washington's barbershop faces sudden zoning complaints. Pastor Williams discovers his church's tax-exempt status under review. The neighborhood feels pressure designed to isolate Sam completely. Friends distance themselves, terrified of legal retaliation. Local businesses stop offering support, afraid of Derek's well-funded legal machine. Derek's social media campaign proves devastatingly effective. His 100,000 followers share the edited video with comments like, "Lock up dangerous seniors," and "This is what happens when old people don't know their place." The hashtag #ElderlyViolence trends for 3 days. Young people mock Sam's age, posting memes about grandpa rage and nursing home fights. The narrative shifts completely. Sam becomes the aggressor, Derek the victim of elder abuse. Maya watches her father's reputation destroyed in real time. Her law school interviews are postponed indefinitely. Classmates avoid her. Professors express concern about her family situation. Everything they've worked toward crumbles under Derek's systematic assault. The settlement offer arrives on a Friday afternoon. Derek's terms are designed for maximum humiliation. Sam admits guilt, pays $75,000 in medical costs, publicly apologizes for setting a dangerous example for seniors, and promises never to fight again. The deadline creates artificial urgency, 48 hours to decide. Derek announces it publicly, forcing Sam to choose between accepting society's ageist limitations or risking complete financial annihilation. Local news covers the ultimatum like entertainment. Will the dangerous senior accept responsibility or continue threatening public safety? The question frames Sam as inherently guilty regardless of choice. Derek appears on morning talk shows as the reasonable victim. "I just want him to get help," he tells sympathetic hosts. Senior citizens need to accept their limitations before someone gets seriously hurt. The psychological pressure becomes unbearable. Sam sits in his empty apartment surrounded by bills he can't pay, job applications he can't submit, and a daughter whose future hangs in the balance. Every mirror reflects a man society insists should surrender dignity for peace. Maya finds her father staring at the settlement papers at 3 a.m. "Dad, maybe they're right. Maybe this is the best we can do. I can take out loans, work longer, wait for law school." For the first time since the fight, Sam considers accepting defeat. Derek has infinite resources, political connections, and social media reach. Sam has none of those advantages. Fighting back seems impossible when the entire system protects wealth and privilege. But that same night, Coach Rivera works alone in her gym office, surrounded by documents that could change everything. She spent 2 weeks investigating Derek's background, discovering patterns of exploitation spanning years. The evidence sits in manila folders on her desk: financial records, complaint letters, witness statements, recorded conversations. Derek hasn't just targeted Sam. He's built an entire business model around systematic abuse. Rivera seals everything in an overnight envelope addressed to Sam's apartment. The note inside reads simply, "The truth has been waiting for someone brave enough to use it. Some fights are bigger than one man's pride." Saturday morning, Sam signs for the package with shaking hands. Inside, he discovers Derek's real history, not the polished image sold to the public, but the calculated cruelty of a man who made a career of destroying people society considers disposable. The evidence changes everything. This isn't about one fight between two men. It's about systematic oppression, about how power protects itself by convincing victims they're powerless. Sam stares at the settlement papers for the last time, then tears them in half. If Derek wants war, he'll get one, but not the war he expects. Sam studies Rivera's evidence through the weekend like a general planning siege warfare. The manila folders contain 5 years of systematic exploitation, financial records showing discriminatory pricing, recorded conversations revealing Derek's true philosophy, witness statements from victims too scared to speak publicly. Derek hasn't just targeted older people. He's created an empire built on identifying and exploiting anyone society considers vulnerable. The elderly, minorities, working-class families, anyone without social media followers or legal representation. The smoking gun sits at the bottom of the stack: Derek's private social media account, hidden from public view but documented by Rivera's investigation. Hundreds of videos mocking older gym members, charging senior surcharges for basic services, and maintaining a followers-only group called Reality Checks for Fossils. Monday morning, Sam makes the decision that changes everything. Instead of signing Derek's humiliating settlement, he calls a press conference for Wednesday afternoon. The same media that destroyed his reputation will become his platform for justice. Derek learns about the press conference Tuesday evening through his media contacts. His immediate reaction reveals everything about his character, not concern about truth, but panic about losing control of the narrative he's carefully constructed. "Shut it down," Derek orders his legal team. "Threaten them with defamation suits. This delusional old fool doesn't get to embarrass me twice." But Sam has learned patience from 5 decades of being underestimated. He doesn't threaten or bluster. He simply releases a single statement. "Wednesday, 3 p.m., I will present evidence about systematic abuse of vulnerable populations. The truth deserves daylight." Wednesday arrives with unexpected media coverage. Rivera's investigation has reached other victims who begin speaking anonymously to reporters. Stories emerge of elderly gym members overcharged for services, working-class families denied access, systematic harassment disguised as tough love. The press conference takes place in the same community center where Sam now trains. 50 reporters crowd into a space designed for 30. Major networks send crews after smaller outlets report devastating preliminary evidence. Sam approaches the podium slowly, deliberately. At 55, he looks every day of his age: silver hair, weathered face, reading glasses reflecting camera lights. But his voice carries complete confidence. 5 days ago, Derek Thompson offered me a settlement that required admitting I was too old to defend myself. Today, I'm here to discuss who really needs to accept responsibility. Sam presents evidence methodically, like a prosecutor building an airtight case. Financial records showing elderly customers charge double for services. Recorded conversations where Derek admits targeting people too weak to fight back. Video evidence of systematic harassment spanning years. The most devastating evidence comes from Derek's own words, recorded during a private training session 6 months earlier. His voice fills the silent room. "The beauty of this business is identifying marks who won't fight back. Old people are perfect. They're grateful for any attention and too embarrassed to complain about treatment. It's basically printing money." The room erupts. Reporters shout questions. Camera flashes explode. Derek's carefully maintained image shatters completely in 30 seconds of his own voice. Derek's response reveals his true character under pressure. Rather than accepting responsibility, he doubles down on victim blaming. His emergency press conference that evening showcases a man completely disconnected from consequences. "This is exactly what I warned everyone about," Derek tells sympathetic local news anchors. Bitter old people making up stories when they can't accept reality. Sam Jackson is clearly suffering from age-related mental decline. The comment backfires spectacularly. Derek's own wealthy clients, many over 50 themselves, recognize the ageist assumptions they've been ignoring. His victim-blaming strategy alienates the exact demographic that funds his business. Social media turns against Derek overnight. His followers discover the private account Rivera exposed, seeing years of content mocking people they love. Grandparents, parents, older relatives. The hashtag #DerekExposed trends worldwide as people share their own stories of age discrimination. Derek's business model collapses within days. Clients cancel memberships en masse. Corporate sponsors distance themselves from his brand. Instagram removes his private account for harassment violations. His perfect image becomes radioactive. The legal reversal happens swiftly. Derek's own lawyers, seeing the evidence and his public breakdown, quietly withdraw from his case. The overwhelming proof of systematic discrimination triggers federal civil rights investigations. Sam's transformation during this period proves remarkable. He realizes this was never about one fight between two individuals. It's about challenging systems that protect privilege while crushing dignity. The climax isn't physical, it's intellectual and moral. Sam doesn't need to throw another punch. His patience, strategic thinking, and commitment to truth defeat Derek more completely than any knockout could achieve. Derek's downfall accelerates like an avalanche. Within 1 week, he loses his gym lease, his business certifications, his social media presence, and his reputation. Federal investigators freeze his assets pending investigation into discriminatory business practices. His wealthy clients, discovering their trainer built his empire on systematic abuse, file collective lawsuits for fraud and misrepresentation. The man who claimed superiority over everyone faces criminal charges from multiple jurisdictions. The community that Derek tried to silence through legal intimidation rallies around truth. Mrs. Rodriguez reopens her store with neighborhood support. Pastor Williams's church becomes a meeting place for Derek's victims sharing their stories. Maya watches her father's vindication with tears of pride. The law school that postponed her interviews calls with apologies and full scholarship offers. The story becomes about more than one family. It represents everyone who's been told their dreams expired with their youth. Derek's final public appearance comes during a disastrous interview where he reveals his complete disconnect from reality. Asked about the evidence against him, he responds, "These people need to accept that success requires natural superiority. I was doing society a favor, showing them their limitations." The interviewer stares in stunned silence. Derek has just admitted, on live television, to the systematic oppression he's been denying for weeks. Sam watches the interview from his apartment, surrounded by job offers from gyms across the country. But his focus isn't on personal revenge, it's on building something better. The real victory isn't Derek's destruction, it's the community Derek tried to silence finding its voice. It's victims of ageism, racism, and class discrimination discovering they're not alone. It's society beginning to question assumptions about who deserves respect. Sam looks at his daughter, sees her future secure, and realizes the fight was never really about proving he could still compete with younger men. It was about proving that dignity doesn't have an expiration date. Derek's empire crumbles completely, but something stronger rises from its ruins, a community that refuses to let anyone be dismissed as disposable ever again. The vindication comes swiftly once truth replaces Derek's carefully constructed lies. Within 72 hours of Sam's press conference, every legal charge evaporates. The district attorney's office doesn't just drop the case. They issue a public apology for pursuing charges based on Derek's manipulated evidence. Federal investigators move with unprecedented speed. Derek's business records reveal a systematic pattern of discrimination spanning 5 years and dozens of victims. The FBI classifies his operation as organized fraud targeting protected classes. What began as personal revenge became a federal case study in civil rights violations. Derek's complete downfall unfolds like dominoes falling in perfect sequence. The Georgia Athletic Commission revokes his training certifications permanently. His gym lease terminates for breach of anti-discrimination clauses. His business insurance cancels for fraudulent claims. His corporate sponsors flee faster than his social media followers. The criminal charges multiply daily. Federal prosecutors file 17 counts, including fraud, tax evasion, civil rights violations, and racketeering. State authorities add charges for false police reports and witness intimidation. Derek's legal team abandons him when his assets are frozen pending investigation. His wealthy clients, discovering they funded systematic oppression, filed the largest collective lawsuit in Georgia fitness industry history. Men who considered themselves Derek's friends now demand every dollar back with punitive damages. The betrayal cuts deeper than any legal penalty. Elite Fitness MMA Academy closes permanently within 2 weeks. The pristine equipment Derek worshipped gets auctioned to pay creditors. The space where he built his empire of humiliation sits empty, a monument to the consequences of treating people as disposable. Sam's personal transformation proves even more dramatic. Job offers pour in from gyms nationwide, not as janitor but as trainer, consultant, motivational speaker. His story resonates with millions who felt invisible in youth-obsessed culture. Major MMA organizations invite Sam to provide commentary on age discrimination in sports. Athletic commissions across the country consult him on policies protecting older athletes. His viral knockout becomes required viewing in sports psychology courses studying mental toughness. Maya's future explodes with possibilities beyond their wildest dreams. Harvard Law School offers a full scholarship plus living expenses. Yale follows within hours. Stanford creates a special program for students whose families have overcome systematic discrimination. Every door Derek tried to close opens wider than before. The neighborhood that rallied around Sam experiences its own renaissance. Mrs. Rodriguez's store becomes a community gathering place. Pastor Williams's church hosts support groups for discrimination victims. Mr. Washington's barbershop displays newspaper clippings celebrating their local hero. Local crime drops 30% as young people find role models who look like them and understand their struggles. Sam's story proves that dignity and skill transcend age, race, and economic status. The community discovers strength in unity that Derek's divide-and-conquer tactics couldn't destroy. Rivera transforms the defunct elite fitness space into timeless training, an intergenerational community center where skill matters more than demographics. Sam becomes head instructor, teaching techniques to all ages while emphasizing respect over dominance. The opening day draws massive crowds. Teenagers train alongside seniors. Working-class families access professional instruction previously reserved for the wealthy. Everything Derek built on exclusion becomes inclusive, welcoming, transformative. Derek's personal fate serves as perfect poetic justice. Federal prison strips away every advantage he once enjoyed. The man who claimed genetic superiority discovers that survival requires respect, something money can't buy and privilege can't fake. His cellmate, a 60-year-old former construction worker, teaches Derek about real toughness. The lessons hurt worse than any physical punishment, forcing Derek to confront the humanity he'd spent years denying in others. Sam visits Derek once, 6 months into his sentence. The conversation lasts 15 minutes, long enough for Derek to apologize and for Sam to forgive. Not because Derek deserves forgiveness, but because carrying hatred ages the soul faster than time. The ripple effects continue expanding. #Timeless Strength becomes a global movement celebrating older adults achieving remarkable goals. #Ageless Warrior inspires millions to pursue dreams society claims they've outgrown. Sam's story transcends sports, becoming a symbol of hope for anyone told their time has passed. Documentary crews arrive to chronicle the complete story. Publishers offer book deals worth millions. Hollywood producers bid for film rights. But Sam's focus remains local, personal, transformative rather than commercial. Maya graduates law school with honors, specializing in civil rights law. Her first case involves age discrimination at a tech company where older employees face systematic harassment. The precedent her father set helps her win decisively. The final image of justice comes 2 years later. Derek, released on parole, works as a janitor at a community college gym. He moves slowly, humbly, learning what Sam always knew, that dignity comes from character, not position. Sam, now 57, continues training fighters and inspiring communities. His silver hair has grown whiter, his back aches more frequently, but his eyes burn with purpose. He's found something more valuable than youth, wisdom worth sharing. The gym where Derek once ruled through intimidation now echoes with voices of all ages discovering their strength. Children learn from grandparents. Teens respect elders. Everyone understands that true power comes from lifting others up, not tearing them down. Sam looks around his transformed community and smiles. The fight was never about proving he could still knock out younger men. It was about proving that respect, dignity, and human worth never expire. Derek thought he was putting an old man in his place. Instead, he helped that man show the world exactly where he belonged, standing tall, fighting strong, and inspiring others to do the same. 6 months after Derek's sentencing, Timeless Training operates at full capacity with 800 members ranging from 8 to 80 years old. The waiting list stretches 3 months as word spreads about a gym where respect matters more than age or bank account balance. Sam arrives each morning at 5 a.m., silver hair catching sunrise through floor-to-ceiling windows. At 57, he moves with the careful deliberation of someone who's learned to honor his body's limitations while refusing to accept society's. His reading glasses hang from a chain now, a practical concession to time that no longer embarrasses him. The transformation extends beyond individual success. Local police report crime down 40% in surrounding neighborhoods. High school graduation rates climb as teenagers find mentors who understand their struggles. Senior centers across Atlanta request Sam's program model, recognizing the power of intergenerational connection. Maya completes her first year at Harvard Law with perfect grades and a summer internship at the ACLU's Age Discrimination Division. Her law review article, Fighting Back Legal Strategies Against Systematic Ageism, becomes required reading in civil rights courses nationwide. Derek's federal sentence, 36 months plus restitution, serves as precedent for prosecuting discrimination disguised as business practice. His case study appears in law enforcement training programs nationwide. The man who built his identity on superiority becomes a cautionary tale about the consequences of treating humans as disposable. Sam's book, Never Too Late, Fighting Age Discrimination One Day at a Time, debuts at number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list. All proceeds fund scholarships for working-class students over 40 pursuing delayed education dreams. The dedication reads, "For everyone told their time has passed, your time is now." The Timeless Training model spreads to 37 cities across America and 12 countries worldwide. Each location follows Sam's core principle: skill development without age limits, respect without economic barriers, community without discrimination. Documentary filmmaker Ava DuVernay's The Longest Fight premieres at Sundance, chronicling Sam's journey from invisible janitor to international symbol of dignity. The film wins the Audience Award and sparks congressional hearings on workplace age discrimination. Timeless Strength evolves into a global movement with over 2 million followers sharing stories of achievement beyond society's expectations. Grandparents complete marathons. 50-year-olds start new careers. 70-year-olds launch businesses. Age becomes irrelevant when passion meets preparation. Corporate America takes notice. Companies implement age-inclusive hiring policies after facing public pressure from Sam's supporters. The Derek Effect, named after the cautionary tale, describes businesses that thrive by embracing rather than discarding experienced workers. Local news stations create regular segments featuring timeless champions, community members achieving remarkable goals regardless of age. The segments consistently earn the highest ratings, proving audiences' hunger for stories celebrating human potential over youth obsession. Sam's proudest achievement isn't personal recognition. It's watching his community discover its own power. Maria, 72, wins her first amateur boxing match. James, 65, completes college after 40 years. Susan, 58, starts the nonprofit she'd dreamed about since her 20s. Sam's story isn't unique. Ageism happens in every workplace, every gym, every community. Someone you know has been told they're too old for something they love. Someone near you possesses hidden talents society refuses to see. Share your own story of overcoming age-based discrimination in the comments below. Tag an older person who inspires you to never give up on dreams. What have you been told you're too old for that you're going to pursue anyway? Subscribe to follow more stories of people fighting ageism and winning. Like this video if you believe talent has no expiration date. Share it with someone who needs to remember that experience is invaluable, not invisible. The movement continues growing because stories like Sam's prove a fundamental truth. Society's assumptions about aging are often wrong, but our assumptions about human potential are usually too small. The gym is silent now where Derek once ruled through prejudice and fear. But across town, timeless training echoes with sounds of all generations discovering strength. Teenagers learning patience from seniors, older adults discovering new capabilities. Everyone proving that respect isn't about age. The real victory wasn't one punch in one ring. It was proving that wisdom deepens with time, skill improves with experience, and sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one everyone underestimated because of their birthday. When the world tries to tell you that you're too old, what will you show them about what experience really means? Remember, your story isn't over. Your dreams don't have expiration dates. Your time to shine might be right now, regardless of what the calendar says. The fight continues, and it's never too late to join.
The story you heard today wasn't cleaned up. It was told exactly as it happened. At Black Voices Uncut, we believe that's the only way truth can live. If you felt something, hit like, comment, and your reaction, and subscribe. Every week, we bring you voices that refuse to be silenced.